So installing Python for data science, there's a few different ways to do it, and if you've never done it before, I tell, let's say my students, for example, just to go to anaconda.com and install Anaconda. That installs a lot of stuff that maybe you'll never need and takes up a lot of space. If you're happy to use a little bit of the terminal, then the two other alternatives are Miniconda, so that's created by the same people as Anaconda, or an external bit of software called Conda Miniforge, and that connects to this Conda Forge. I'll be installing the Conda Miniforge version myself because I find the packages there tend to be a little bit more up to date than the ones in the Anaconda side of things. But there's probably not a huge difference, and if you want to install it in Anaconda, go for it. So because I saw someone struggling with this just recently, I'll show you what this looks like. So download the installer. I'm on a Mac, one of the new ones, the M1, and not that new anymore, the Apple Silicon. So this file is a little bit strange because if you've never spent too much time with the terminal, or you might not recognize a file that ends in .sh. Yeah. It might open up in a text editor of just at random. So I happen to have one called Sublime Text installed, and it won't, even though it's a program, it won't run anything or do anything, because in fact it's a whole bunch of commands that are meant to be read by your terminal, and then each one run after each other. Okay, so let's say we have our terminal, the standard terminal, and I cd into the directory downloads. Now the way to run a command, run a shell command, is to put the name of it. So here, to refer to the one in this current directory, go // and then start typing the name and maybe hit tab to autocomplete. It's showing that's not, if you can hear that error, it's not autocompleting for a reason, so I'll type it manually just to show you the problem. Yeah, permission denied. Now, this is because on these Unix-like systems, you don't actually, you need to have what's called permission to run the file. So right now, all this stuff on the left, I won't go through the details, but basically it's saying we can read and write this file, but we can't execute it, we can't run it. However, this is a shell script, we should be able to run it, so we can change the permissions to add that execute flag to the Miniforge shell. By ls.l again, we can see the permissions block has updated to show that we can actually run. This is something we can run now. Now we can do what we tried before. So // if I type a little bit of the name and then hit tab, now the shell will autocomplete the name because it can see this is actually a program that I'm allowed to run. Now if I hit enter, it will go through the installation process. So a little bit weird, but this is sort of classic Linux style of interacting with files and terminal scripts. Okay, what do we need to do here? To accept things, yeah, I agree with that, enter. Keep hitting enter. Yep, do I accept? Yes. It will be installed to my home directory /Miniforge. Yep, that's fine, hit enter. Okay, do I want to update my shell profile to initialize Anaconda? Yeah, I normally do this, so every time I open up my terminal, so the Anaconda is ready to go. Well, Miniforge to be specific. So Gosh, this is a very confusing question. So here's the question. Do you want it to be updated to automatically initialize? Yes, I do. Okay, okay. So it needs my password, so I'll type that in here. Okay, so on Mac, my shell here is ZSH. So now if I make a new shell, new window, and I'll make it bigger, you can see that now that we've installed Miniforge, we can see that it's actually loading up every time we open a terminal, because the environment is shown in brackets here, the base environment. Now if I search for, say, which Python would be run if I called Python or Python 3, then it's actually linking to the one that was just installed by Miniforge. So that's what we want. So that's a little setup for installation for the Miniforge Python distribution. So if you haven't done any terminal commands before, don't stress. You can always ask ChatGPT for a bit of a refresher course on how these things work. I'll end this video there.